Hello, my guest today exploded on the gospel music scene with a song that resonated in the hearts of many with the single I Need You Now. The song was birthed out of a place of desperation and urgency that landed him on the top of the Billboard charts. And he's here today to talk about his brand new project and his single entitled Once in a Lifetime. Help me welcome Grammy Award Winning recording artist Smokie Norful to the show. How you doing, Smokie?
I'm doing great, and thank you so much for having me on the show. I've been trying to get on here forever.
Oh, that was good. For real, though. We've been trying to get you for 4 years, so I'm really happy. Today's a great day.
Oh, well, it's a great day for me, too. I thank you. I seriously, sincerely thank you for having me on.
Now, Smokie, I know your father was a pastor, but was he also like a Smokey Robinson fan? Where did you get the name Smokie from?
Actually, my dad is still pastor, and he's about to retire this year after 45 years of pastoring. And thank God he's still retiring a young man. He's just 61. So, yeah, he's still got a lot of time to enjoy himself. But he had a best friend in high school that was killed, and that was his name. So he had known before I was ever even an inkling of thought in their eyes or in their hearts that I would be named or called Smokie. So I've had that long time before I was ever here and before I even knew that I was going to sing.
So he knew you were just going to be Smokie if he didn't know anything else. Oh, wow.
That was it.
Wow.
That was it. And it was an amazing thing that God put it together so well.
Now, was Smokie a singer as well?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But it was just, it was interesting. It was interesting to say the least how God orders our steps, and I'll just say this: the name has definitely worked for me.
Okay, I know it has opened up many doors for you. Now, I know you said you grew up as a PK kid. Your father is still a pastor, getting ready to retire, and you're also a pastor yourself. Now, did you ever see yourself becoming a pastor, although you were raised as a preacher's kid?
No, I never wanted it. I never wanted to do it. It was totally it had to be God, because it wasn't something that I ran towards or wanted for myself or for my family. Growing up in the church parsonage, I was totally keenly aware of the sacrifices that would have to be made and the measure of responsibility that it is to have a whole congregation of people resting upon your shoulders. So that being the case, I wasn't running towards it. I was really running away from it. But, God has his way of making sure that he gets your attention and pushes you into your purpose. And finally, I didn't fight it anymore. And when I gave God a yes, it was the most blessed thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And I thank God for being patient enough with me to allow me to still walk in this purpose and to enjoy such joy as a result of it.
I like what you said, being patient enough with me, because, his patience is long, isn't it? Even when we're running and we're not doing, and it's the best thing for us. Once we say yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, your father also helped to shape your musical influences because he allowed you in a non-church traditional way to listen to secular music, which kind of helped shape you. Who were some of your musical influences growing up?
Oh man, I listen to everybody, and I can't say that they gave me a blank slate and said listen to whoever you want to. It was censored for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
But at the same time, I was exposed to music, and I have to be honest too. That day, music was music. It was not a gimmick. It was not selling sex. It was not musicianship had meaning, like the songs that Stevie Wonder used to do and Donny Hathaway, and they really were they were cause-oriented musicians that attached to the times and really dealt with issues and things, and they did it in a musical way, of course, and that was what drew me in. So I listened to them. I listened to El DeBarge or the DeBarge family. I had a myriad, a host of different. Of course, I was classically trained, so Bach, Beethoven, Chopin, I studied all of them. I loved the jazz greats, Ella Fitzgerald. Definitely it was a huge fan of Nancy Wilson, still am. And so, my musical taste spans the gamut, and I think as a result of it, it makes me a very well-rounded and universal musician and artist.
You mentioned Stevie Wonder and Donny Hathaway, and the one thing that all three of you all have in common is you also play the piano. So
Absolutely.
Were you inspired to play the piano, or did your dad just say you're going to learn how to play the piano because we need a keyboardist in the church?
No, no, that wasn't my testimony. Actually, my parents did not allow me to play the piano in church until I was like 13 years old. So, and I wanted to, but they wouldn't let me. Like, no, you're not ready. No. So it wasn't that at all. I started playing at 5, and I was one of those child prodigies that just sat down at the piano and began to pick out melodies until it became a song. And so it's been something that's naturally gifted. I've been naturally gifted to do, and I've been doing it for a long time. So that's how it happened, though.
Yes, since 5 years old. That is a long time. Now,
well, not that long. Now, don't say it like that. Not that long, baby. Just a few years.
Oh, yeah, you're only about 15, so okay, about 10 years you've been playing. We'll give you that. Now, Smokie, many people don't know that you used to be a high school teacher. What courses did you teach in high school?
I taught history. I was a history major in college. I went to seminary and got a master's of divinity, but I was a history teacher. And, most people would assume that I was going to be a music teacher, and most people who knew me thought that I was going to major in music. But I went to the furthest end of the spectrum away from it because I was so burnt out, and music was such a natural inclination, and I had been pulled on so much by the time I got to college, and I'd done choir and, chorus, and it just was time out for it. It's like, I don't want to do that. And I'm glad I did, because being a history major really prepped me for studying and researching and digging and rightly dividing the word, and even speaks to my teaching. I'm still teaching. I'm just teaching in a different venue now. I'm teaching as a pastor versus a school teacher, but I was a high school history school teacher for about 6.5 years.
Now, Smokie, because you have such a youthful look, did you kind of look like the age of the high
school? Say it again. Come on, say it one more time. Let me hear it.
You have such a youthful look. But
yes.
In teaching high school students, did like when they first saw you, did they kind of give you the respect as a history teacher? Because you do look young.
Yeah, I was. Of course, I had to come in with a big stick because I looked like I was their age. And when I was teaching school, that was like over 10 years, about 15, 16 years ago that I was a school teacher. I really, really looked young then. I mean, I look young now, but I really looked young then, to the degree that I would be in the hallways and other teachers would be like, hey, young man, where are you supposed to be? And then I would turn around, oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Norful, I'm sorry. So I had to come in, and I was very strict, but I was also very enjoyable. The kids really loved my ability to connect with them, and because I looked like them, many of them would confide in me and talk to me as they would their peers, but I demanded the respect of their superior. And they respected me. I mean, I think once people have a relationship with you, it makes it easier for you to respect. That's why I encourage people to get a relationship with God, because then you'll respect Him more. You respect those individuals whom you're in relationship with. It's easier to accept discipline or rebuke, correction from somebody that you know loves you and that has your back and that really has an affinity for you than it is for somebody who knows nothing about you and has no connection to you. So that was my big success in teaching, was that I had a connection with my kids, and as a result, they had great respect for me, great love and affinity, even to the extent that the security guards in the school would come and get me when they were having problems out of one of my kids, because they knew that I could come and talk to them and get through to them in a way that nobody else could.
Wow, I like how you said I demanded that respect.
Oh yeah, no, I had to have it. You weren't gonna run over me. I wanted a paycheck, and if you acting a fool was the difference between me getting a paycheck and you not. Oh no, one of us got to go.
I know that's right. Now,
it's a different world now. The parenting and teachers, it's a whole other ball. Well, we're trying this methodology, we're trying this approach. It's like, well, you can try that, but this definitely worked for me in my life, so I'm gonna stick with this.
Okay, because you saw it work. It's a proven remedy. Now,
absolutely.
You pastor a church in Illinois. Tell us about your church and how long have you been pastoring?
I've been pastoring 6.5 years. We have 2 campuses, one in the western suburbs of Chicago and one in the south side, in the inner city on the south side of Chicago. So I've been pastoring 6.5 years. I planted a church. We've grown tremendously. We've seen God's favor, but more importantly, it's just been a rewarding journey. Hadn't been an easy journey, but definitely a rewarding journey. and one of great sacrifice, not just from me, but from everybody that serves alongside me and helps me be and remain successful in ministry. So it's been an interesting and great experience pastoring God's people.
Now, Smokie, because God has blessed you with so many great songs. I remember when I first heard your testimony, I was watching television, and you have some songs that have just become like the theme that people, when they're going through, they'll go and grab I Need You Now. When I heard that song, oh my God, I'm sure everybody tell you that. You probably heard it umpteen times, but it's amazing when there's a song that's birthed out of the Spirit. I don't even know how many times I played that song. And then you have another song called I Understand. I was on my way to a camp going, you know how people say they go through, but I was going through. I didn't even have an H. I was going through, driving to this camp, and that song was on repeat. And when my kids hear that song today, they equate that song to the camp we were driving to. We heard the whole way to camp because I understand, and I understood, and I couldn't believe that you wrote a song that just resonated with me because I knew somebody else understood what I was going through. And I want to go back to your song, I Need You Now. And if people haven't heard the testimony of how that song was birthed, they need to hear that to know that you can definitely relate of needing God, not another second, not another minute, but I need you right away. Can you tell us about that testimony?
Well, it was a season in life where my wife and I were dealing with one struggle after the other, and it was both in our immediate family and in our extended family. My wife had been diagnosed with tumors, and they thought it was cancer, and they basically made the determination after the second time of having to have fibroids removed that she was not going to be able to have children, and told us that we might want to consider other methods. And it was real tenuous. It was real stressful. Of course, she went through the procedure, and I have a 10-year-old son and I have an 8-year-old son. So the 10-year-old son is the I Need You Now baby, and the 8-year-old son is the God is able baby. And on top of that, my father was sick. He had open heart surgery right around that time. My grandmother was ill. They were trying to amputate her leg. My mother was paralyzed. I mean, it was one thing after another, and so distressing it was that the only thing I could do was sing, and the only thing I could do was just put my heart out to God. And when I sat down and penned the words to that song, it was those words that I spoke to God on behalf of myself and my family, because we were really in a desperate situation. So that's the birthing of I Need You Now. And of course, God is able is that we weren't looking for my second son. And unbeknownst to us, here he is. And we thought we were going to have struggles just having one baby, and then here it is, number two comes. So I sat down and wrote, God is able, and he won't fail.
I love it when you told the testimony how your son came with the EPT test.
Oh yeah, he came in with the test talking about, hey, and he was a toddler at the time. He's actually not quite two, and just wobbling in his walk. And he came in with his paper, and here, I get this test results, and it says she's pregnant. I'm like, wait a minute.
And God is able.
What's really going on here? So God is able, and he will not fail.
See, that is beautiful, and it's amazing how songs can just be birthed out of your spirit that people can really connect with. And leading into that, you have a brand new project out now called Once in a Lifetime. Tell us about the title and the inspiration behind the song.
Once in a Lifetime is a very, very special song to me because it culminates the 10-year experience. I've had a great 10 years so far in the music industry. I'm looking forward to the next 20 doing the same thing and producing some great music that inspires people. But when you get in this industry, a lot of times you're chasing the things, and you're excited about the trappings, and you're excited about the celebrity and the awards and the accolades, and all of the other things that come along with being in the music industry. You really, when you come into it, you come in with those things in mind. But once you obtain those things, and I've had all of them, the Grammys, the Stellas, the Doves, the BET Awards, and I've sang in venues and places and around the world, and I've been exposed to all of the great favor of God on my music career. And about 6 years ago, when I started pastoring the church, it was actually the beginning of my journey of discovery. And what I discovered was who God is, and what's real, what really matters, what really counts. And that is a relationship with him, and the maturity that you get when you are walking in Him. It's like this song, the first portion of it, talks about. I used to think that it was the trophies on my wall. I thought if I won, I have it all. I couldn't wait till everybody knew my name because I had my own idea of fame. But the closer I'd get, the more distant I feel. The more I had, the less it all seemed real. And then it goes to the end of the song. You get to the point where I say, Lord, now I know the thing that I was seeking, that I was searching after, it was you. And so that's once in a lifetime for me. That song is very special. And then I went back to Sacramento. I came back to Sacktown, and I recorded it with Derek Allen, who is from Sacramento, and in the same place. Most people may not know, but I Need You Now was recorded in Sacramento.
That's what I heard. In the little studio that's right across the street from my mother's old apartment.
Oh, wow, wow. I recorded it right there, so I went back to the same studio, worked with the same producer, had the same engineer, Brian, B and Derek Allen over there that are doing great things still, and he gave me this phenomenal track, and actually he and I both wrote the song because he gave me the music and I just put the lyrics to it that lived, and it was a very emotional, very passionate, very genuine moment when that song came together, and that's how the song came together. The CD is simply a celebration that it's been 10 years since I Need You Now came out. 10 years.
It doesn't seem like it's been 10 years. My daughter will be 10 years this year. It doesn't seem that long.
10 years, June of this year. June 2012 marks literally 10 years since it came out, June of 2002. And it's unbelievable. So what I did was I said, I need to celebrate this. I'll never see this will be once in a lifetime that I'll see a 10-year anniversary of my music career. So I'm pulling the best of everything that I have, all the songs, and that was a real tough choice because everybody has their favorites.
Mm-hmm.
But pulling together all 10 years worth of songs, pulling the best of them and putting them in one compilation so that you don't have to get in the car and skip to I Understand.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, but you can listen all the way through, and each one of them is going to be like, oh, yeah, oh, God is able, I understand, justified, good, I need you now, dear God, and it just goes on and on and on.
Now, let's go to that good. How did you come up with that song? Where were you going through? Because sometimes, you could just get that feeling that comes over you about the Lord, and you just have no words, and He's just good. How did you come up with that song?
Actually, I didn't write that song, and most people, when I perform it, when I minister it, they really think that I wrote it because of the passion that I have behind it. But I've been singing that song for probably about 15 years. There's a gentleman named Percy Beatty who worked for me at a church here in Chicago as a minister of music, but he's also a world-renowned songwriter. He wrote and produced a lot of things for the Thompson Community Singers and for BB and CC Winans back when they were together. I mean, he has an incredible legacy of music. And so working with him at the church allowed me the opportunity to debut a lot of his new songs. And so I've been singing that song at church for years and years and years. And then years later, I just decided, man, that song was such an incredible movement. I need to re-record it. And then I did. But the song, it simply, I think it resonated from a place where we all had to stop and just say, man, God, you are so extraordinarily, incredibly good.
Now, that's a song, too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, I want to thank you so much. Now, tell me, just give us a couple of other things about your favorite songs. If you had a choice to choose out of all the songs on your project, what would be like your favorite one?
I don't think I can. I mean, that's like asking me to choose which one of your children are the best and the favorite to you.
I guess so, huh?
Because all of them have a unique place, and they all are representative of a unique time, like going to camp.
And,
all of them have milestones attached to them, and all of them are special. So I don't know that I can choose a favorite. I just know that there's some that work for different things at different times in my life, like the last major song before Once in a Lifetime for me was Dear God, because I didn't have anything else to say. And I sat down and reflected on, man, God, you have been so good to me. And this is pre-10 years. This is before I got to the 10-year marker. I didn't have anything else to say, but God, I just thank you for my life. And now, of course, the celebration of 10 years, once in a lifetime, is the way to go. And I want to thank you. Thank you for being diligent and getting me on your show, and thank you for supporting me. Thanks to Sacramento for all that you guys have always done to support me, to support DOA, to Brian. I love you guys, and I appreciate everything that you've done. I hope you go out and get the new CD once in a lifetime, too.
Oh, of course. We got it all wrapped up in one CD project. So, Smokie, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. I know you have to go, and we love to have you back on the show, and you have a blessed day. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Be blessed.
You too. Bye-bye.